travel trailers have everything that a house has. It has a bedroom, a kitchen, bathroom. And so some trailers are very nice, to me, nicer than some apartments or houses. However, the biggest problem with looking at the option of living in a travel trailer is where are you going to park it? Because America is not designed, it does not have laws in place for you to live in a travel trailer outside of a trailer park. So you can buy either a small, cute travel trailer, or you can buy a very expensive travel trailer, fifth wheel, $100,000, the cost of some house. But no matter what type of travel trailer you buy, you can't just put it on land. You have to go to an RV park or a campground. And that's the biggest problem. The laws in America are designed that there's restrictions around land use. And in today's society, most populated areas in America, they want you to build at least 1,000 square foot house. You can't just buy land and own it. You know, the government owns the land. You pay taxes and you have to abide by the regulations. And the idea of you buying a travel trailer and getting out of the system is a falsehood. It's very tough, to operate within the system for the average person. Because again, America is the wealthiest country in the world, but 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That means even though Americans may have a nice pickup truck, they may have a nice house, that's all they have. Some have 401ks, some don't. Pensions are a thing of the past. Previous generations may have them. But America's a blessing. I think any first world country is a blessing. And I think if you're very focused and disciplined in living below your means, I think you can live an above average life. But it requires a lot of maneuvering. I think a travel trailer is better than subsidized housing, in my opinion. I think you have more independence. But do you have a mindset of being independent, or do you need help? Because I think the nomadic life and living on your own requires a level of self-sufficiency. And there's nothing wrong if you are mentally or emotionally or physically not able to do that. But if you are, a cheaper way to live is out of a travel trailer, because it has everything a home has, but America doesn't want you living in it outside of a trailer park or campground. So, look, you're not going to make Walmart parking lot your home. You're not going to make, look, for most people, you'd be better living in a van, and traveling around. But even that's tough. I know because I live out of my Jeep. And what I could tell you is, really, you're going to have to either buy land in the middle of nowhere to park a travel trailer. You're going to have to accept that you're going to be living in a campground or an RV park. Or the most luxury way to do that is to buy an RV lot in an RV community, which is it's higher end. It's a better community on average than a regular campground or a regular RV park. When you buy in deeded RV lot communities, it's a little bit higher end. Still middle class. I wouldn't say I've seen a couple upper class RV lot communities. Sometimes they have restrictions. You can only have a Class A big motorhome. But the cheapest way to go and to be legal compliant is get like 1,000 Trails camping membership. But a lot of those campgrounds, what I learned using them in the last year, is they're not in the ideal places. Some of them are in decent places, sometimes even nice places, but there is restrictions how long you can stay there. And again, most of them I found to be not in bad locations, but not in great locations. So it's like, once you're in the Thousand Trail system, you're subject to the locations. You're gonna go where the campgrounds are. And in most cases, if the campgrounds weren't there, you wouldn't go there. So then Thousand Trails kind of dictates to you where you're going to live. You don't dictate to it. But it's cheap. It's cheap for a reason because, look, it's, you're not going to get, you're not going to get anything for free. But if you want to try to maneuver around the edges of the system, because that's what I'm doing. I'm living on the edge of society as a nomad. Okay, I'm not breaking society rules, but to maintain legal, I'm on a fringe. Okay, and even if you're going to live out of a travel trailer, you're not the norm. You're the abnormal. And if you want to live a life that isn't lower class in a travel trailer, it's going to be hard to do. And I got no problems parking in truck stops, parking in campgrounds. I've done it. So I've lived the life that I'm talking about. I'm not sitting on a high horse. And what I can tell you is I got no problem doing it as a single person. As a married couple, I've seen people on the road do it. I live a lower middle class life. I don't live an upper class life. But what I could tell you is, once you get into the travel trailer RV lifestyle, you get caught almost in the very thing you're trying to get out of. Camping World is a publicly traded company. The biggest manufacturer of RVs is owned by Berkshire Hathaway, which is owned by Warren Buffett. Corporations run the nomad life. They run the RV industry. So you think you're getting out of the housing industry because you're going to beat the system, but you just got beat because an RV goes down in value, a house goes up, and now you're sitting in a campground that's not in the ideal location. You don't own anything other than an asset that's going down, and you got screwed by the system. The biggest benefit of the RV life is you're on wheels. But the truth is, humans are creatures of habit. We want to anchor our wheels, and we want to form habits around a community over time after some travel. And so that was my biggest hurdle when I first saw the nomadic lifestyle as an option to get me from New Jersey to Florida, because I wanted to move states, and to live below my means to save money for a transitional part of my life. Now I'm kind of stuck in this algorithm where, how do I get out? But initially when I got in, I did the research and I shared, my thoughts were this. I did an early video about living in your RV is not cheap or easy. And I came up with the same conclusion I'm sharing now when I first started on the nomadic life. And that's why I said, well, I'm not going to buy an RV because it's like almost a trap. Now, would I ever buy an RV? Yes. But what I'm trying to say is, you have to be so careful to buy the right RV, to know where you're going to park it, to do the research on the campgrounds, to do the research on the RV lot communities. I've done that research over 4 years, and even now it's still very hairy to find the right situation. And you got to really be patient. I still rather, and to be honest, as a single person who doesn't like maintenance and liability, even though travel trailers have it, I would consider it because it's, look, you buy a cheap $10,000, $15,000 travel trailer, keep it for 10 years or whatever it is. But I don't know, is it cheaper to put $10,000, $15,000 down on a smaller starter house and have an asset go up? Financially, it's better to buy a starter house on average. But for me, again, I do like the lower maintenance, the disposability of like the travel trailer life. But I'm sharing with you, it's financially, it's a trap. And you got to be very careful. But everything is not just about dollars and cents, because some is how do you like to live? I like the nomadic life. I've really come to enjoy it. Some parts about it I don't. That's why I'm trying to add comfort, because I lived at the very basic level of the nomadic life out of my Jeep, living out of my Jeep for 4 years. Now I want to add some comfort, but before I add the RV, I have to think about, where do I want to park it? Okay. And what's going to tow it? Because that's your biggest thing. And how do I want to move with it? And I haven't figured it all out yet. And I'm looking. But I'm sure I want you to think about this. And I want to spur some thought in your mind. Because just because a travel trailer, again, is cheaper for $15,000, you buy brand new, it's better than a studio apartment inside. In 10 years, that thing's going to be worth probably less than $5,000. If you would have put $15,000 down on a starter home in a decent area, it'll appreciate probably $30,000. That's the difference. And the RV, you got to find somewhere to park. The home is already in the community. It's a give and take. Think about all your options. Be slow and patient, and best of luck to you. Thank you for watching. Peace.